хамтдаа хөгжий Монгол Базальт.
Learning many things from each other, and thank you for inviting me and our company to support this wonderful experience of women in STEM and help develop each other through technology, science, and obviously experience. So we are very humbled and happy to take the stage to share today with you our company's experience through how we are tackling sustainability development in Mongolia and specifically Ulaanbaatar region. And our the projects that we have been doing for the last decade and the research findings we have found that may surprise each and every one of us. Maybe we can learn something more from each other every day. And so I will begin my presentation. As we know, today's Women in STEM conference is under the main roof of Sustainable Development Goals. How Mongolia and the women in this Asia-Pacific region STEM community can help develop each other's sustainability goals for a better, greener economy and nation. So obviously, why do we have these rising experiences and difficulties? The main factor is the climate risk. And obviously, for the last decades, Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, the capital city, has been seeing immense number of urbanization. This is one of the biggest reasons of our pollution and why we need sustainability in each and every business philosophy. So it's very known research that by 2050, the global population growth will reach around and urbanization will increase the population of metropolitan cities by 2.5 billion people per metropolitan city, which means every week, as today, 1.5 million people continue to move to urban centers, and by 2050, 2/3 of the whole world's population will be living in big mass community cities, which means building consumes 2/3 of the carbon dioxide emission and energy consumption in Ulaanbaatar, as does also in other countries around the world. And that is why our company, Mongol Bazalt, a building insulation manufacturer and technology innovator, is very adamant and pioneer in sustainable energy efficiency technology and projects. Why should we pay attention to the buildings? At the same very cost as building a energy, wind farm energy, or water energy, solar power energy, at the same cost, the construction sector can save an average of 70% or more CO2 than any next most efficient sector. Renovating old buildings is the most efficient allocation of resources compared to new construction and can reduce the carbon footprint by building materials alone by 70%. This is a research that has been done with the Construction and Development Ministry and some of the district offices through many researches done together with the Science Technology University as well. The results, one of the projects that we have been doing for the last decade is re-insulating and renovating old houses, specifically in the Győr district area, the most rural and highly polluted part of the cities. We started the re-insulation project just over a decade ago. We were the first pioneering company who actually managed to make the first re-insulation of an old household in the Chingalte district area. And from our decade of monitoring and research suggestion, we have found many interesting results, some that we were already planning to see results in, and some more interesting lifestyle, life quality changes in the people and the households of these areas. So One of the changes that we were already expecting to see was the reduction in coal usage, which meant in reduction in energy consumption and CO2 emissions. What we saw was the single houses in the Gyer district of Ulaanbaatar was burning up coal around 6 to 8 times in a 24-hour. Well, after the re-insulation project, the numbers fell down 2 to 3 times more, and a single house was burning only 1 to 2 times per 24 hours, which meant that, of course, the coal consumption will reduce, but actually, in order to keep the house warm, for example, when the kids come home in the evening from school, in order to keep the house warm, someone had to stay behind and keep burning the coals and, keeping the house warm. Most of the time, almost over 90% of the time, it was women. The wives and mothers or the grandparents had to stay behind at home and needed to keeping the house warm and burning the coals. Well, since after the insulation renovation project, they only needed 1 to 2 times per 24 hours. So the people who were left behind had extra time in their hand, which was a luxury that they never had before. So what happened was the lifestyle and the life quality changed for these single households. Now the women of the households were employed. After 1-2 years of monitoring, when we went back to the houses and actually did some research, surveys, they said they're employed. So they're no longer one income house. Now they're dual income houses, which means they could afford a better life, better food, better environment, and better quality education for their children, which was a very interesting finding that we weren't actually really looking into. Now, when we talk about sustainability, we do talk about the environment, the pollution, the cities, and of course, food, agriculture, and everything. But we all know, and I think we can agree, that sustainability development cannot be put in a box of one category or industry. It is a big roof, or rather a hat, that the whole country and the world has to wear on top of all agendas and goals. By only one renovation project that we've been doing for the last over a decade, we found that we can actually meet 9 out of the 17 sustainability development goals provided by the United Nations. Now, obviously, after the good quality of life increase, the children's health started increasing. They weren't sick as much anymore as they used to be, as Mongolia has 4 to 6 months of cold, drastic, dry weather. And these urban Gyer district houses used to be the major polluters of the capital city of Ulaanbaatar. So as you can imagine, and you've probably heard, that Ulaanbaatar city is one of the most highly polluted cities in the world, and especially during the peak winter seasons. So the health development was a really good goal for us. And affordable and clean energy, now that the houses were not highly dependent on energy consumption, now they could start using solar panels as well as boilers and heaters. And these were also very good points that we found, which would later on be additional goal that we didn't know that we were looking into. And our company is not only devoted in finding sustainable and energy efficient solutions, we actually want to make our own factory and industrial manufacturing system zero waste industry, which means we want to become the most sustainable industrial manufacturer of such industrial products. If a building material can be used for at least 50 years, it can save up to 162 times more carbon dioxide than for the production, transportation, and the use of the product. It is called a green building material, and we are proud to say that our insulation basalt wool materials are one of the most green building materials in Ulaanbaatar and most likely in the Asia Pacific area as well. And the carbon dioxide balance will become positive only within 4 months after using our product. So as you can imagine, after 4 months, it will all be net carbon positive from then on. A little bit of a background about this, our company. Our company actually has our own basalt volcanic rock quarry, and we produce these insulation materials by melting a very high technology melting furnace. And the major challenges we see today is people trying to understand what type of industries we can also use these products in. And the next slide will let you understand what I'm trying to say. So our insulation products that contribute to solving the major challenges of climate change facing society enriches modern life and creates new opportunity to create a safer, healthier, and more climate resilient society. Now, this is the next project that we started doing only 2 years ago. This is smart hydroponic agriculture system. GrowWool is one of the new projects. It's a startup project of our company, and we've been seeing immensely great results in terms of how to solve the agriculture crisis in Mongolia, specifically logistically and the weather-wise. So this GrowWool sustainable growing project is to produce as much crop as possible in a smaller scale of land. So it actually uses 80% less water than the traditional agriculture systems, and you can use the land over and over again for the 4 weather period. So for 365 days a year, we can grow crops in a vertical, fully automated hydroponic technology system. And this project has been one of our very successful projects, and we're looking to see many growth and development in terms of SDG-wise. Now, what we found through these types of projects that we do, even though Mongol Bazalt is a manufacturing company, why we are committed to sustainable development goals and actually exceeding these goals is, of course, because of the circular economy system. When we produce a certain material, first we want to make it as sustainable as possible. But after it goes into the market, the construction, the industrial, the infrastructure and agriculture market, we want zero waste systems. In terms of that, we have implemented a zero waste technology in the last 2 years, and we made a drawing of a map of how our company can become one of the most sustainable green industrial companies. So lastly, I want to say we do need women engineers in this science and technology field, specifically throughout our experience going through these projects. We found that promoting women engineers through education, employment, and new innovative projects, we found we can better develop our own country's sustainability goals in a more faster and more sustainable and harnessing way. So thank you for inviting me, and I'm very honored to speak a little bit of our experience towards this industry and subject, and I hope you have a very nice rest of the conference days. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.